welcome to your 10 o'clock hour of KGFW's Talk of the Town. It is Friday, and that means we are featuring local talent. Joining us this morning is Odie, a.k.a. Modern Cowboy, and he is from the Grand Island area. He's brought his guitar in. He's going to sing a song, but first we're going to find out a little bit more about Odie, and you can check us out right now live on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/KGFW radio. Modern Cowboy, how did you come up with that?
Well, the name is actually, it was Modern Day Cowboy originally, but we were big 80s hair metal and country western fans, so we like both kinds of music. Believe it or not, we play both kinds. And the Cowboy, we wanted to buy the name Modern Cowboy, but some gal owned it, and from Florida, and she owned 27 corporations from New York down to Georgia. And she wouldn't sell it to me. So she said, well, I'll give you a call. My people want about 150. And I says, well, I'll write you a check. You know, that's not the 150 she was referring to. So my wife one day said, just change the K to a C. And so I did. And if you see here, the C is in the K. So it's kind of a cool name. And it's modern to put it that way. So that's why we came up with the name Modern Cowboy.
So talk about your musical influences.
Well, I grew up obviously in the early 70s and from Coatesville, Nebraska, and we really loved my mom. Her favorite artists were Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, Elvis Presley. So every Saturday morning she'd put a record on. I was in the record era, believe it or not. I remember when 8-tracks came out. So, and we'd put that on every day and listen to them when we cleaned the house on Saturday mornings as a farmer.
Now, young artists who may be listening and checking out this podcast later, it always seems like these new artists just pop up overnight, but that is almost never the case. You've been at this for a while.
Probably about 27 years, maybe longer. I started when I was about 16, playing music. So.
And what has that journey been like for you on a personal level?
Well, on a personal level, it was different because I actually started out playing piano. Then I played saxophone, then I played drums, then I played just every different instrument in bands, joining them. I didn't start lead singing in a band until about 2010 when I joined a band called Red Eye at the time. So, well, before that, Exit 312 was known as a different name by then. They're still all good bands yet to this day. So I joined that, but my interest took me in a different way, and then I got a record kind of deal in 2014, actually October of 13, recorded in 14. Got an album, didn't release until 17 due to health issues, but it was a good thing that it kind of went south because I prefer it this way.
So it's a self-titled album.
Yep.
And talk about playing in those cover bands versus writing your own music.
Everybody wants to hear covers. When you go out, that's what they want to hear. They don't really want to hear originals. But for artists, when you can play an original and people think it's a cover, that's when you know you're doing it right. So like I go see people sometimes, and if you have to ask them, is that an original? And they go, no, it's a cover. Then they're doing it right. You know what I'm saying? If they're playing a song and you think it could be a cover or an original and you can't tell, then they're doing it right.
Talk about some of the shows you've played. Recently, you played here in Kearney, and you're going to be back in Kearney this weekend.
Yep, supposedly tomorrow night at Nick's Heroes in Kearney. I played there last week filling in for someone, and it was wonderful. It's a great atmosphere, great people. Literally a couple hundred people came in during that time. Yeah, it's work to do, but you got to pay your dues. You got to get out there and just keep playing, and that's how you get better and better as an artist.
And you play both in a band setting and solo. What are those different acts like?
Well, we do solo shows, duo shows, trio shows, full band, whatever level that we can, because we try to just get out as much music as possible. Believe it or not, my favorite two kinds of places to play are dive bars in small towns with less than 35 people, just crazy people, and assisted living, believe it or not. I do probably 4 shows at assisted living facilities almost every week. I do a couple. You can, go to the website. That is a great crowd.
What is it about those smaller crowds?
It's the people appreciate it more. When you go into a big city like, say, Kearney here, and I want to play Kearney. I love Kearney. I used to play at Shooters all the time. It's now JD's. I used to play at Copperfield's, Fanatics, all those different places back in the day. And, there's so many different choices. They can go anywhere. But when you go to a small town, there's only one show that night, and everybody's there. And they all just want to cut loose and have fun.
So talk about some of the songs on the album. What went into writing them? What were some of your experiences that you put into music?
Well, believe it or not, every song on there was probably 25, 30 years old. I wrote them when I was very young. And I wrote one song on there for the album called Remember Everything. And that was supposed to be the title of the album because it was trying to remember those songs. I actually had to put in VHS tapes of my band playing back in the early 90s and stuff. And I didn't have a TV that would hook up to those type of coaxial cables. So I would just sit there and play them and listen to them on, you know, the RCA outs. And just finally, and then I go, there's the song. So then I'd write down all the words and get it and put it on the album.
So what song are you going to play for us today?
I'm going to play track number 1 on the album. It's called Old Lady. It's about when you know a friend that's a guy or girl that's chasing someone else, and they chase them forever, and then the person finally gives in. And in my opinion, when that happens, it's not a good deal. So I wrote a song about it, and that's what it is.
Take it away.
All right, so this is Old Lady. Well, I was walking down the street just yesterday. Saw a pretty girl I hadn't seen since last May. Said I to a body to dismay. She just stopped and spun and walked the other way. Why does everybody just wanna be my friend? I don't know. Well, I met this pretty girl about 2 years ago. As cute as a button from her head to her toe. Asked her if she'd marry me, but she said no. And I still hear her answer, and it's got me so low. Why does everybody just wanna be my friend? I don't know. Now some people say that my life's in bad straits. I have a lot of fun, so I can't complain. Do a lot of traveling and searching around to find the pretty girls who really rock my world. Why does everybody just wanna be my friend? I don't know. Well, I was walking down the street just the other day. Saw the same girl that I saw last May. She said hi to me, but to my dismay, I just up and spun and ran the other way. Why does everybody just wanna be my friend? I don't know. So now why does everybody wanna be more than friends? Alright, there we go.
That's awesome. So what has it been like promoting the album?
Hard, and I don't do much of it, to be honest. But actually, we already got another whole album written. We were supposed to go up there in December, but due to job circumstances, we couldn't make it, and the holidays. So I'm hoping by May I'll get another one out, and you learn a lot. When you do your first album, oh, that's a learning curve like you would not believe. I remember, I'll tell a quick story here. I remember when I walk into the studio and get behind the sound booth, and it's just unnerving like you can imagine. All these famous people, producers are there, and you're trying to record, and you know, I thought I could sing. You learn real quick. It's difficult. So.
For folks just joining us, the Modern Cowboy joining us now, and do you call Grand Island your home?
Yeah, I say Carroll. All my family's from Carroll. I was born in Coatesville, and then we moved to Farwell, and then to Carroll, then to Grand Island, and actually now a lot of them have moved on to Lincoln, and I just stayed. I said, I'm not moving, I'm staying on the farm.
At the end of the day, you're a local boy.
That's right. Yep.
That's all that
from
matters.
around here. Always been from Nebraska.
Where did you record this album? Where are you going to record the next one?
I recorded it in Kentucky, Nashville, and then also in my studio in Grand Island at Othie's place. I'm a music teacher, so we have a studio in Grand Island. So we recorded a lot of the vocals, a lot of the backup vocals, stuff there.
So you're finding a way to not only inspire the next generation, but teach the next generation.
Yep. Yeah, I teach Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at my school, othiesplace.com, if you want to check it out if you're from Grand Island or the surrounding area. I teach vocals, guitar, drums, bass, violin. Can't even think of the other things, but if it makes noise, we try to teach it down there. And but it's really, my situation is if you go to a regular teaching school, they'll put a book in front of you, say, okay, play that note. You know, there's your E. You know what I mean? E, E, and that's, no one wants to learn that way. So I teach like I wished I would have been taught. Music theory, how the chords work, different options you have, also to be prepared to play live. So.
Can you let us in on maybe a couple tracks or two from the upcoming album?
Playing them, or?
We've got time.
Okay, well, I'll do another one off that album. They're so new, we've actually not been playing. We play one live, but other than that, I could do another one off the original
So is this one of the deals where the record company says, hold on yet, don't put these out here just yet? Yeah,
it's kind of, well, and also I've been talking with the band to start doing them live, just to fine tune it up, because they have their own input on how they want things done. You know, we should do this here or that there. So especially with my bass player, Brian Pinar, we've been thinking about writing a song together, co-writing. On the new album, Everything's Mine, but I'm looking for other things. I know Andy had that great song a couple years ago about summertime. That was a great song. I wouldn't mind putting that on the album. I know Dage Deader, he has a great song I want to put on there. So, and you know, they'll still retain their rights, but they're great songs.
All right, so what are you going to play for us now?
Well, it's track number 10 on there. It's called Why, and it's actually when I was in the studio in Nashville, and this is in Kentucky, I told the band, I says, hey, I want this to sound like Herman's Hermits. So it's like a 50s tune, and it's got doo-wops in it, so I'm going to do the doo-wops too. So don't think that that's part of the song, that's what the other band should be doing, but it's called a call and response. So hollerback is what we call it in Oklahoma. Here we go. So it goes. Why does my heart beat for you? Why does my life seem so blue without you in my life? Why does the sun always rise? Why do I always get lost into your eyes? Yes, I do, because you're the one I love, and I think about you all the time in my life. Because you're the one I love, and I'll get down on one knee for you. Say I do, because you're the one I love, and I think about you all the time in my life. 'Cause I love you, girl, and I think you don't know why. I love you, girl, don't ask why. Don't ask why, don't ask why. Now, as you can tell, the song's title is Why, but it's actually a comedy song. I wrote it to be funny. And I know you're thinking, well, what's so funny about that? Well, this is that part right here. Why does a cat land on his feet? Why does my heart skip a beat when I hear your name? Yes, it does. Why does toast land upside down? Why does my life seem upside down without you in my life? Why does concrete always crack? Why does every girl look flat next to you? Yes, they do, because you're the one I love, and I think about you all the time in my life. Because you're the one I love, and I get down on my knees for you. Say I do, because you're the one I love, and I dream about you all my life in my life. 'Cause I love you, girl, and I think you know it's true. I love you, girl, don't ask why. Don't ask why, don't ask why.
That's pretty good. I got a chuckle out of that.
All right, good deal.
That's awesome. So you're preparing to put together another album. How much time do you think that's going to take?
Well, the first one took 3 years, so I'm hoping the next one can take 3 weeks. We'll put it that way. My new producer, Pat Lassiter, down in Nashville, he told me that he's going to make me stay there till it's done. He says, you know, you'll be in here. He's thinking 5 to 7 days, but I don't know about that.
So you're anticipating a fifth grade lockout type deal, or lock in.
Yep.
Put you in the studio, they don't let you out, they bring you the food.
Yep, he lives right on a river in Nashville, right outside of town there, and you stay in a camper outside and do the whole record right there.
Odie, also known as Modern Cowboy, and you've got some giveaways you want to let the listeners know about.
Yes, for the next 3 days till Sunday night, or about midnight or so, anybody that likes us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, I'm going to write down all those names, put it in a hat, and I'll actually put a live Facebook live video of it showing me draw out the name, and whoever gets it's going to get a free CD, a koozie, a kerchief, which I like to call bandanas because kerchiefs ain't cool, and the 2 Modern Cowboy picks that we have, and we have one that glows in the dark, and there's only 50 of those ever. So if any of our fans have ever got one of those out on the road, there's only 50 ever, so we're probably down to the last 15 of them, but they're cool because they glow in the dark.
The Modern Cowboy. You can find out more at moderncowboy.com. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
10:25.